I'll train you to spin fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to bet and sell. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow.
Thank you, GMs, guys. Welcome to the Swarm Report. Yo, does that song sound like shit on Spaces? I have a feeling it sounds like shit on Spaces. I got a feeling. Good morning, though. How we doing, fam? It's Tuesday, August 19th. Everybody bitching about virtuals, kinda. I don't want to say bitching, whatever. Everybody's trying to, digest the virtuals Genesis update, which was so cool. The timing of it yesterday, hell of a show yesterday. Appreciate you guys who came up and chatted. Yeah, kind of wasn't expecting to have that kind of show, right? You know, I was picturing kicking off the week, talking market. And we'll do that today a little bit, but I don't know, man. Everyone's got these thoughts and feels about virtuals, good or bad or whatever. There's probably still more to talk about. So to that point, dude, I word vomited like literally, I'm looking right now, 7 pages worth of notes this morning. Just thinking a lot about the platform, listening to the Will and Goon show this morning. Those guys rock. And they've got good takes, and Katz has got great takes, and Cheyenne, and everybody, on the show has got these really good, thoughtful, smart takes. And then, I'm listening and, again, making notes, and I've got takes that maybe differ from some people. A lot of it's the same. Some of this is, really obvious. I think we're overthinking everything. I think the game plan is incredibly easy. I don't think the plan is that different from how we were used to playing this. It's more, I think we're at a decision point for all of us is the game worth our time and effort now? The way that we were hoping it would be, that maybe for a period of time it was worth it, right? I think that's the stuff we got to start thinking about here. And for me, it is. I'm in this for a different time of the market, a different part of the market, one where those wins kind of come easy and they come fast and furious, and those wins are pretty damn big. And we did see that for a little while in virtuals in season 2 and back in season 1. We did see it. And I'm pretty damn sure we're going to see it again in season 3. And the question is it going to be bigger and better than before? And there's a really good chance it is. So yeah, I do have some thoughts I want to share here. Let me go ahead and tag Lurky on the spaces here. Get that recording going. Lurky. Boom, Lurky reverb. All right, there we go. I'm going to do market quick today. By the way, appreciate the kind words yesterday, guys, about the show. It was cool. It was pretty cool. It was our biggest virtual spaces, right? We do the video show, and the video show gets tons of views, and I appreciate everybody who tunes in even for half a second, clicks off, whatever. I appreciate everybody. But now doing the spaces along with it gives us a little different, avenue and a different way to bring on guests and other voices, and we'll find ways to keep working that in. But that was cool. Again, nice and timely and good topic and all that. It was a lot of fun. And the dude, Katz, yeah, the different takes is what makes the community beautiful, and it's what makes it special. The fact that we got this open forum to share those thoughts. And dude, it is a hell of a community here. That's such a cringy thing, right? The community thing, but it's real. Some of the projects here have an actual community. And Katz, you and I know, especially because we've been doing this for 4 years now. It's been a long while. Some people in the community, Gravity 2 here. Good morning, man. By the way, good morning to, let me do some quick GMs. Drop King, good to see you, brother. And Carbon, of course. Good morning. Katz, good morning. Over on the Spaces side, Alizar GMs, man. You had a tweet the other day that I think I put in my newsletter that's going out today. Ingenuity, good morning. John, good morning. What was the point there? The point was, yeah, there's, these communities can be special. I have some people here I've met and I'm friends with years and years and years later. And now we do everything together. And if and when the meta shifts from whatever to whatever, it's a lot of the same people that are going to move on to the next thing together. And so it's important we learn how to talk and figure things out. We learn to research together and we learn how to share alpha. And it's pretty fucking special what's going on here in virtual. So I'm digging it a lot. And hope you guys are too. All right, smash the like on the show, live in all the usual places, Abstract and X and Kick Still, I think Kick Still, and definitely YouTube. But come over to the YouTube side, subscribe over here. Eventually, I'm going to figure out ways that there's kind of exclusive content on each, right? Some shows work better in certain locations. We saw that yesterday with Spaces. That lived. Yesterday's show was the Spaces, even the video streaming. And I'll find a way when I have my communications like up to par where it'll only be in one spot, right? And again, for any given day or whatever, like interview is here, the market talk is here, the community thing is in this spot. We'll figure that out. But you got to be following along to catch those. So subscribe to CryptoSlam on YouTube. Mufasa, good morning, dude. You can follow me at Hudah_idiot on X. Of course, follow the Swarm_AI also on X. And hey, if you're a project and you want to come on the show, I should pull up this tweet from Whitney. Or actually, I'm going to. I got this bromance going with Whitney. I love that dude. He's just awesome. But part of it's we think similar, we think alike. I think with a lot of things. I think so. He like Whitney's got this in my head, and I think about this a lot now. If you operate a media channel, never ever charge your guests to come on the show. Being paid for play puts you in a lame category. I don't fully agree. I actually got some things I'm working on here. I want people who are look, builders come on this show for free. People who are in the community come on the show for free. Think if somebody's coming in and trying to like extract and take money and whatever, launch, but hasn't put in any time or effort to be a part of the community or a market or whatever. I think I'd be okay with them paying. So I'm thinking about that. But either way, I like that tweet from Whitney a lot. And so if you are a project that's out there and you're building and you want more people to hear about your project and your tokenomics and just what you're cooking, come on the show. It's an open invite. Like really, everybody's welcome, project side especially, to come on the show. Over on our account on the Swarm_AI, go to our link tree, and you're going to find a form there you can fill out to just connect on Telegram. So there you go. Go to our link tree. And where is it? There we go. Swarm Report guest request form. Just submit it. We'll reach out on TG or X or whatever. We'll get you on the show. That simple. We got some really big guests coming up starting this week. Now, I don't know if I should announce some or not. I'm not sure. I think at Cats, I can announce Friday, right? And we'll do a legit, tweet. Whack is teasing major news. Fuck, dude. I've not packed my whack bags. I've definitely been meaning to. But actually, what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to blitz through market, by the way, because again, it's not a lot. Markets looks okay, but there's not a lot we need to worry about trading actively right now, kind of. Let's say like Genesis launch wise. So I'm going to kind of rush through that and get to some thoughts still about, virtuals and these changes. And part of that is buying a token like Whack or not buying a token like Whack. I sold something this morning to make a different kind of play that I think for me plays out different, better. And it's kind of the core of today's talk, today's chat. What the fuck even are these shows? The core of my thesis. We'll go there. All right. So let's just say this. Kat says hold off on Friday. I'll just say this. We got a great guest coming on Friday. Want to announce it a little more officially, so I'll hold off that. And that kind of applies to the rest of the week. I want official announcement, but I will say I can just tease, and I'm not going to tweet these, whatever. Hollywood's coming on next week. That's the first ever Genesis launch, and that team is cooking. That team is really cooking. I cannot wait to chat with them. I've never chatted with them before. So the Hollywood agent team coming on next week. We've got Virtuals coming on next week. Dawn, the head of the Virtuals ACP. I think that's next Thursday. Again, we'll get the tweets out. We'll make sure people know, but I want you guys to know first. I think there's a pretty safe bet that someone like maybe Whitney coming back, right? Maybe we'll do this officially, and I'll tweet it once it's like we know. But this Friday, make sure you're freed up this Friday, because Friday's going to be a different show, and it might be like the first of a series of this new Friday-ish kind of thing. So it should be pretty cool. Mufasa, keep us posted, by the way, mind, if you see a Whack AI, like some news come out, let us know. But yeah, again, Mufasa saying Whack AI is teasing a major news drop in the hour, which awesome. Okay, hitting the market real quick. We're at almost a 13 bill market cap again. Here we are, 12.92 bill, up 1.22% in the past 24 hours. I love checking this, by the way. I know there's going to be a shakeup here. I know the top tokens is going to look really different at some point. Preddy all-time high now too. Wow. I sold my Preddy this morning. I sold it this way. I sold it into that for a very specific reason. We'll see. Look, we're going to use me as a guinea pig for points and best way to play. I think I'm doing the right thing. Missing on some like obvious big games like Preddy's going to be 100 mil or whatever. Preddy's going to cook. I'm playing it different. But I sold my Preddy this morning. Anyway, top agents by market cap. It's USDT on top, followed by Fartcoin, Rect, IRC. Interesting. Iris Chain. Is that our Iris? That's not our Iris, right? It's not Virtual's Iris. Oh, no, that's Scan Iris. Okay. Just had to make sure. That's something else. We should look into that separately. We do need to have more alpha sessions, guys. Like, we need to get in the trenches and dig together. I think it's super important. I named the spaces passive versus active. That also is a really important thing to just be aware of how Virtuals has changed. There's two paths you can go down. And we'll talk about that. Let me get through market. I can't focus. On the infrastructure side, FET is on top, 1.7 bill. Love it. They're followed by Virtual, DCAI, IOTX, and Ask Venice. By the way, of those top 5 tokens, well, Venice is up 34%, 146 mil market cap, but Virtual's in the green this morning, which is great. Again, just over 800 mil market cap. Virtual's coming up. I would not be fading Virtuals right now, even if like maybe on the timeline it's more fuddy than bullish. I think right now is the time for Virtuals. Hey, our boy Cat's got a base app access. Good shit. If you ever get invites, let me know. I haven't checked if I have any access there, but I need it. And then finally in DeFi, Cortex is on top here. Wow. Hang on a sec. What the? Cortex, like kind of out of nowhere. Am I looking at this right? Cortex has got a 216 mil market cap, up over 1,000% in the past 3 days. What in the world? Hang on. Yeah, what sucks again, without this show having like a real specific format, I don't want to like get too deep in the weeds here. I need to look into Cortex. But I'm just expecting a lot of shakeup here, man. A lot of shaking up here. All right, let me move past them. It's Venice then at 146, Banker, Olas, and then Griffin. That's your top 5 in DeFi. That's where I'm expecting the biggest shakeup here, big time. I'm sure it's coming. And then we put them all together. We'll rank them by mind share. See if we have any surprises here. Virtual on top here. That's awesome. I kind of wasn't expecting that, but that was really big news yesterday. So they're number 1, followed by Open Ledger, Fartcoin, Banker, and then Rect. Good shit. Room is all the way down at 8, and everybody was talking about Room here. Let's see. Carbon, what's the Apes Ball game? Apes Balls game. What is that? Is that Bored Apes? Like, do they have a new like kind of mini game in their like other side? All right. I think. Well, no shit. We still got market to get through. Quick peek. Well, and again, we're gonna do this really quickly. I promise. Your top movers here in the past 24 hours. Your top gainers, Omni on top, up almost 700%. There's guys, I think there's some fuckery going on. I do. I just think there's these low market cap agents, and I think there's some very cabal-y stuff, which I think is awesome, by the way. Are people gaming the votes on Virtuals? Like, maybe? Is it just like, right, everything's up, find the lowest market cap agents from teams that are still here, and kind of an easy bet? Probably. But interesting, right? Again, Omni up almost 700%, just at just under 300K FDV. Again, these are tiny, tiny little market cap FDV tokens. Arvos behind them, Javelis. By the way, those are up like 400, 500% each, right? AI Space up 145%. These are tiny, all of them. And then PRSNA, up about 600%. Now, your top losers in the past 24 hours, these are names we're more familiar with. Ring, down almost 30%. Light, Ethi, Virgin, and Sang. Virgin, I still think, is one of the best plays out there. And you guys remember last week I bought, what was it, just like 1.2 mil? And I said, this is about the easiest play. If you think Virtuals is coming back, Virgin is the best, I think, leverage bet on it. So you could look at Vader the same way too, but Virgin, to me, is no execution risk. Purely a meme coin. It's the meme coin. And this also is going to tie into some of the game theory that I'm going to mention here coming up. Again, the passive versus active. We were already doing that to some degree. I always said, guys, trade Virgin. Get active trading Virgin. It's the one token that gets volume. There's others too, by the way. But it's one that you could, again, as the sole meme coin of the ecosystem, It's pretty liquid. It's pretty active. That's a way you can go and trade and actually grow your bags a bit here. I know it's down, but again, you can trade these things. And that's part of the theory or the game plan going forward is getting way more active in the trenches here. Sang, by the way, at number 5, down 25% here. Virgin growth is basically stalled. I don't think Virtual's announced anything that's going to grow us here in the short term. I don't think so. Big project will do it. Big win on Sage will do it. We'll see, but it is pretty darn flat here for the past, I don't know, 10, 12, almost 2 weeks, right? 10, 12 days, like just almost no growth. And then, man, I'm still waiting for Whale Intel to drop the points in circulation. I really love that little stat. It's really, really helpful. It's not there. So we'll see with that. All right, over to the Virtuals Genesis Launchpad. There's one agent live right now. It's Agent Nomics. I don't think this is going to make it. I'm not sure. Could be wrong. You can now set up, or you can set up TrustBot to volume trade. Interesting. No, that's cool. You can now do it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's cool. That's cool. I like it. I wonder if that's going to come in handy with some of this, what I'm going to get into, Cass. Again, I think we need to get a lot more active. Anyway, Nomics live now, only 52 participants. Maybe that's up, but there are 21 hours to go. I don't picture this one making it. Points are precious right now, especially with one massive launch coming up tomorrow, and Pock still coming up too. So yeah, there's some stuff you're going to need your points for. I'm not sure anybody's going to go waste there. By the way, dude, Virtuals, please fix this site. It's really hard as a builder. I know this, guys, that the people are just going to pick apart anything you do, even if it's good. They find the things that are not good, and that's what they talk about. But the site is really rough. Like the filters is not easy to use. It's not hard, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to use. And I'll show you this too, guys. If you flip to the sentient page, I don't know if this is different, but it's super annoying. When you hover, it expands. I really don't like it. I don't know. You can tell that this, what is it? They don't have a UI UX person, right? They have like devs. I get it. We've got a team of devs. But you can definitely tell. Sentry took the number 1 spot from AIXBT from featured agent. Interesting. Now, I saw Sentry up today, was actually thinking about selling my Sentry tokens. Tricky, because I like those guys and I want to bet on them and I believe in them, but my game plan is different. Emma's got some news today too. You're right, Skinner. Emma's got like maybe 2 pieces of news since yesterday. I like that. I'm still holding. I'm not selling that one. Yeah, I was tempted to sell my Sentry this morning for a very specific reason here. Yeah, let's get to the talk. We'll just say, though, that Pock comes up in what? 40 minutes. Pock is live. That's one to keep your eyes on. Probably going to bond, right? That's probably going to complete. Alizar, I've disliked almost every single update they've done. Every time they've updated the site, it gets harder to use. There's more stuff crammed into the page. It doesn't flow. Like, it's rough. It's pretty rough. That said, I think mobile actually flows a lot better than the desktop version. I just don't use mobile. Okay, so we'll feel Pock out. We'll get a feel for, a couple things. Are people more excited? Are people ready to, start degenerating again into Genesis launches? So we'll feel that out. We'll also feel out those tiers of, the completion tiers, the 21K, the 42K, the 100K. Right? Is Pock our first agent that completes or bonds at 21K? 21K virtuals. No, I think this one goes a bit higher, but also it's interesting that if it doesn't get to, let's say it passes 21K and it goes to like 35, 40, whatever. Kind of interesting, right? Still completes a whole bunch of virtuals refunded though. It's just gonna be fun to watch this. Pock is the Cabal play. I like that, Cats. It is interesting. There's some entities involved here. It's got some like game theory to it. It's interesting. In fact, we've never done like a good thorough review on it. I don't know if we're going to now. Mint chicken NFTs, aka Pocks. Each breed of Pock mirrors an option trading strategy, allows traders to leverage Bitcoin or ETH across 1, 3, or 7 days. Kind of gives me like Avagachi vibes. Kind of. Very loosely, but yeah, just gamified trading. Katz has heard about people talking about going hard into Pock and then Sage. Going harder, like I heard people going heavier into Pock. Will was saying that, I think, right? Like 75% Pock, 25% Sage. I'm just tempted to do like heavy in Sage and set it and forget it. Yeah, not a game, right? But yeah, options trading, gamified. It's just a gamified leverage trading ecosystem. Pock probably does cook. But do you watch for it on secondary as opposed to spending those virgin points? Because the penalties suck, man. You go in on this and you spend your points and you sell it, you're fucked for 10 days still. And by the way, this is part of what I've been thinking about. I don't think Virtuals is changing anything with jail. And I don't think they're going to change anything with selling your airdrops. I don't think they're going to. I don't. I think they've been really clear and they've been really consistent all along. They want you to support builders. They don't want to incentivize trading. And I don't think they have to. In fact, like Virtual's messaging aligns with Vader's messaging of, man, guys, like a 10x is great, 100x is great, but don't you want 1,000x? Right? Like, yeah. And you're only going to get that 1,000x if you actually hold. And like, so Virtuals has like, look, man, they've designed this to make you hold and not make you hold for, a week or a few weeks or a month. I think they're really designing this out to have you holding for a year. Because look, if you do want 1,000x, and I do think that's coming. In fact, geez, guys, I think there's possibly a 2,000x, a 4,000. There's maybe even a 5,000x coming, right? That's possible. With the kind of market that's queuing up here, it's possible. But you don't realize that in a few weeks, right? That usually is going to take some time. That said, dude, things really do get crazy fast. We've seen coins rip to $1 billion. We've seen it in like a day or two, haven't we? Over on Solana. Alizar, I think the points play would not be like before. Maybe trading on secondaries the move from here on if you don't have 100,000 plus points. Yeah. So, okay, now we'll get into like what my strategy is and the why. Excuse me. All right, let's pull up the notes. Like, this is not going to be structured well enough. I know it's not. Like, as I was writing these things down and making my points, I'm like, I just didn't have the time to make it. I don't know. I didn't refine this enough. But the main points I want to get across is, look, we're still waiting on some clarity from Virtuals, right? And these are the things people are complaining about. The selling of airdrops, right? We don't have clarity. If you sell an airdrop, now that virtual stakers, by the way, are getting 2% of every single Genesis launch, can we sell it? If not, that probably changes some people's plans. For me, no. But we need clarity there. There's still some complaints about the pre-sale token supply being really small, 7%. It's pretty small. There's concerns about points being undervalued still, right? Because all that we're doing is, fighting over fewer tokens. It's going to be hard. And then bad communications, right? Like bad communications from the Virtuals teams. They put out their announcements. They don't really flesh them out. And I think it's fine they do. Actually, I prefer they do it this way because it keeps us talking. It keeps us engaged. I prefer them doing it like this. But also, like, and this was mentioned on the Will Show, they don't really come on shows, right? They have their own spaces they do with virtual ventures. And I've not figured out like the cadence of that, how often, but they don't come on shows really. That's why I'm so excited next week to have Dawn on the show, right? I don't think I've seen Virtuals other than, what do they have? That intern dude? They're a Swiss Army knife. They're whatever. They're a guy who just kind of does everything on Virtuals. Like he was on Will's show once, but I don't think any of the core team has come on anybody's spaces or shows. Dawn on this show next week might be the first. Anyway, I think they're doing the way they communicate. I think is on purpose. I think it's a team of devs. I don't know if they got the personalities or the want to be on shows. And again, to me, it fits like, feels like the site. It's just, you can tell it's a team of devs. It is what it is. And all that still, and I don't think any of these points matter. Not virgin points, they matter. But these points, these things we're complaining about, I don't think they matter really. It's kind of all semantics, especially when Virtuals is going to change things as often as they do, and they change things a lot. And I like that about them. I like that they're always fine-tuning and dialing, and sometimes they fuck you with that too. Sometimes you make a game plan around, maybe I'm going to stake my virtual token, and it's worth X amount right now on a daily basis, and then it changes. And we've seen our like daily active points we get from Virtuals fluctuate too. It all changes. So it's hard to make a game plan. But this is why we work with what we have. We need to think of the rules as they are now and figure out how to optimize it, especially guys, as we head into season 3. And in season 3, what we're looking for is, dude, Cass is so right. 100,000 points is nothing. It's not. It's a real bummer, but it's true. 100,000 points isn't enough to do anything. It's a real bummer. And this is, people are gonna have to make some hard decisions. Like, is this worth your effort? But okay, in season 3, the real time we're waiting for, it's the perfect storm two, right? We had a perfect storm once. It was like this, Ronan, good morning, man. We had, I want to say it was like a week or two that we were waiting for. We talked about this leading up to it forever. We are waiting for the perfect storm where new people are coming in, we're stacked with points, and there's like multiple launches over like a few day period, and that you just don't have enough points to get as much as you want. And which means you can go all in on something and hopefully get a bigger allocation. Hopefully everybody's spread too thin. And I think that's exactly what we should be planning for again right now. We should be assuming we're going to get like a week stretch. God, it would be amazing if we get this a few times, but a week stretch where there is 10 projects, great Genesis projects launching, capped off by something like an Iris. And that's how it worked last time around, right? We had some really good launches, and then Iris was the one that we knew was just going to melt faces, and it did. And so we need to be planning for that. It's going to come again, by the way. It's definitely going to come. And I don't want to be on the sidelines when it's here. But yeah, I was starting to think about, again, the how to play, the why to play, and more, I'm just thinking we're overthinking the Genesis stuff. Because it doesn't matter really what you do. You don't really change your positioning that much with Genesis. As in, like, guys, the allocations you got last time around, like season 2, is kind of what you should be expecting right now, even if you're getting less points, right? Your ratio, your percentage of the tokens that are being sold, you should be thinking you're getting about the same. You're not really crawling up or growing, right? You're not increasing your slice of the pie, really. Not by playing Genesis, you're not. Unless you got multiple wallets and you're being really smart, like selling some of these and getting thrown in jail, but continuing to trade on others, right? Unless you're actually growing basically the agent tokens you hold and stake and then grow your points, you're not growing your allocation. So I think we don't even need to think about Genesis too much. It's a very passive thing, meaning, like, again, what you have now, you can just almost automatically get in on these Genesis launches, right? Everybody's going to put their points into the same stuff. It's how it's been working. I think all of us, it's like, yeah, we're doing this one today and we're doing this one tomorrow, and maybe we're differing like how many points, but we're all in on the same things every single time. So I don't think we need to pay attention to it. What I do think we need to pay attention to is prototype, because that is where you actively trade, and I think that's where you grow your position. It's where you can get liquid. It's where you can probably stack some wins, and I think that's probably, I don't want to say it's underlooked, because I know everybody's starting to talk about it a lot, and I know we're paying attention to it, but I think more than anything, trading secondary and getting on these prototype launches is going to matter a lot. Again, especially if you want to catch up, grow your slice, right? Be competitive. But Genesis stuff, like, set it and forget it. It's almost automatic, especially, though, if you're staking virtuals. If you're, like, staking virtuals, that's the real set it and forget it mode. And actually, guys, that's my game plan now. I think that's my game plan. I don't think I'm going to worry about Genesis. Like, I'm going to participate, right? But I'm not going to be, like, obsessively trying to figure things out. I think I'm just buying virtual and staking virtual. And I'm going to show you why. And I did it this morning. I did exactly that this morning, because, like I said, I'm going to focus on prototype. I'm going to get active there, and I have a feeling that's going to be the best way to play virtuals right now. Go play prototypes, go play secondary, just trading coins, and I think they're going to start incentivizing that stuff with points too, at least I hope. I do think there was a comment there. They've changed point rewards for trading from, like, volume to, like, net buy now. Look, they need to use DNA. I'm telling you, and I think we need to talk to them. Like, they need to use wallet DNA. Let people trade all they want. Let people sell all they want, as long as they're still adding to the ecosystem. And DNA shows that. Okay. Here's my wallet right now, my portfolio. If you guys are on Spaces, just a reminder, right? I do a video stream too. So we're live over on the Swarm account. So sharing the screen over there. Look, I don't have big bags, right? I don't have big bags at all. And it's why, like, kind of on purpose. I haven't gone heavier into this because I like being zoomed out and having some skin in the game, enough that it makes me pay attention and learn it. But you're not going to get bag bias here, really. Not with what, $1,900? What do I have? $2,300? Which one is US dollars here? Yeah, $2,300 total. That's my whole wallet. That's all of it. Yeah, Mufasa. Now let's see if I can win you over. I don't care if I win people over, but I'll show you the why. I'll show you why I did virtuals. I only had 72 virtual staked before, right? So I'm now like, what am I, like 4x that right now? I'm up to 283 virtual staked. I would like to add more, but I want to wait till tomorrow, and I want to see my points. Because if what I think is going to happen happens, then virtuals like staking is still the best way to, man, maybe also grow your pie, grow your share of the allocation. And again, every Genesis airdrop, you're getting a little bit. It's a little bit, man. But yeah, when I saw my points today, it just got me thinking, I think virtuals is the easiest way and the most automatic way, and maybe the best way to actually play this stuff. My points history. Nothing crazy, right? I range here 7,000 points a day, 6,000, 5,000, whatever. And now I've got to battle, expiring points, right? Because those are back to expiring. I got like 7,000 expiring today. Okay, but I saw today that my points are actually not bad. Actually, they're pretty. Actually, I want to go back and see if they've upped them. No, they've been consistently right here. Guys, like I'm getting about 2,000 points a day just from staking 72 virtual. That seems pretty darn decent. Like decent. I don't think like you're not gonna retire on that. You're gonna get, I don't know. You're not gonna be very competitive with that. But all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, if I 10x that, my virtual stake, right, go from 72 to 720. I mean, we're talking about like $800-900. It's not a little bit of money. It's also not a lot. But if I can 10x my points, if I can start getting, guys, maybe 20,000 points a day just from staking, that might be it. By the way, Verdant, Mufasa keeps making a really good point that I've not looked at, and I need to, but he's doing those Verdant miners, and they're doing really fucking good. Can you, Mufasa, do you mind like telling people like your points and like kind of, I guess, the breakdown of like what you've invested there and how many points you're getting a day? Because when he told us before, this dude's cooking on points, like big time. But yeah, if I can 10x my points here, if I can get 20,000 points a day, guys, from staking like 800 virtual, I mean, maybe it's about 1,000 at this point. But my God, I don't think I've ever gotten 20,000 points. And again, if we can do that every single day, yeah, Mufasa's getting almost 100,000 points a day from Verdant. And I remember when he told us how much he put in, it wasn't a crazy amount. Dude, that's insane. Yeah, Gravity, you should check those out. That was a way under the radar launch few months back. If I remember, it was like some kind of game thing, but virtuals allowed them to use their miners in their game and point them to Genesis stuff. It's crazy. That's 100,000 points a day. Again, for me, what I'm watching for tomorrow is now I 4x'd my virtual staked. Do I wake up tomorrow and I see about 8,000 points here? Virgin points. If so, that means I'm now outpacing my expiring points for now, right? It'll even out at some point, but it'll mean I'm outpacing my expiring points. But I'd say that's the easiest point farm here right now. It's just more virtuals. And again, 1,000 virtual is not a ton. It's not nothing, but yeah. Now Mufasa's got 2,500 into Verdant, and he's getting 100,000 a day. Like 2,500 back when he got in might have gone a lot further, right? Well, but that Verdant shit is pretty interesting. Oh man, I like that. So we'll see tomorrow. Is virtuals the play? Do I really start stacking points that way? Also worth keeping in mind here too, most of those points are coming from voting, right? vVirtual voted agent points. So I'm pretty darn sure that's on like the voting page, right? That I've actually used my points to vote. Oh, does that mean it's the 10%? Is that what that means? That's like the 10% allocation? I guess I'm not totally clear on that part. But this has been really consistent. Maybe that's still the point to really focus on. This has consistently gotten me 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 points a day, and that was just 72 virtual staked. It's very little. Now I got to mention too, I'm max staked. I'm staked for 2 fucking years. Whatever I put in there, I assume is gone forever, right? Just gone. I'm never going to see that again. And so when I sell $300, $250 worth of Preddy today to go put it all in virtuals, and that money's going to go bye-bye. And by the way, I think Preddy's going to 10x, and right, it would be $2,500. I need to think, well, I just missed out on, a couple grand with Preddy. Pretty sure I did, right? I'm pretty sure that'll go to $100 mil market cap. And even if not there, the point there is I'm pretty sure I would have made some money on that. Do I think I could make that over on virtuals by staking that same amount of virtual? And I think the answer for me is yes. Yeah, I really do. I think over the course of this cycle, yes. Again, 2% of every Genesis drop goes to virtual stakers. It's not going to be a lot, by the way, but dude, when I go look at my airdrops, So I got on my screen here now, right? I got like a ring fence airdrop. It's 27 cents worth. I've got the alleyway airdrop. It's 11 cents. I've got Dynavest, 11 cents. There's tons here. I want to find some others that are maybe worth a little more, but you get the idea. We're talking just pennies, but that was just, here's Eva, 37 cents. So again, 10 cents to 30 cents to 40 cents, whatever. That's with just 72 virtual stakes. So I'm assuming all those, 4x, 4x. So maybe start seeing like $1, 50 cents a dollar. But man, this is where I start thinking about, I remind myself of what does the euphoria start looking like? Let me see this. Moit. By the way, I think Will shouted you out on the show, and I don't think I've seen your tweets yet. And I'm going to go dive in. Will spoke very highly of you, so nice to meet you, man. Saying though, virtuals doesn't only get you extra points, but also the 2%. Exactly that. So here's what I did. I always got to put myself in this headspace. I'm not worried about right now at all. I'm not worried about now. I'm thinking about the euphoric part of the cycle. And it doesn't last long, but those few weeks, and maybe it's extended over a few months, and there's those hot parts in between. What does this look like then when the number of projects dropping ramps up? And I'm assuming the quality of projects ramps up, and every single one you get that small percentage of tokens. And if we start looking at 30 cents, let's go 50 cents. That I get a 50-cent allocation from every drop. I got my calculator out. I'm going to see if I can do some maths on the fly. Let me see. 50 cents. I'm gonna do some funny numbers here, maybe. 50 cents. If I get a Genesis project who launches and I get 50 cents worth of their token, and that token, 100x's, which we saw a lot. And again, let me, for context, so you can, have some numbers to work with. Let's assume these are launching at a 200K FDV, or your pre-sale is 200K FDV. That's that token running to 20 mil. We saw that, I think, pretty darn. Did we see? How often did we see? Actually, you know what? I want to do smaller numbers, because we definitely saw that in that euphoric period, but we didn't see that more than like 3, 4, 5 times, right? Now 10 mil was different and 5 mil was different. We saw a lot of that. But the point there is, man, we will see tokens that rip to 20 mil for sure. And if you're then turning every single drop that rips to 20 mil from basically free or your staked virtual to $50 each, it adds up. It starts adding up when you start thinking every Genesis drop is going to drop you that. Now, like, not every Genesis launch is going to make it to 20 mil, but some will. I think a decent amount will. I think a decent amount of those are going to go to 50 mil, 75, and I think we'll see some that go to 100, and this is where we start getting into the way speculative side. Some of them going to 100, and I think finally we start seeing some of these things rip, and we start talking in the hundreds of millions. And maybe that's over a long enough time frame. But the point there is you're now getting exposure to every single Genesis drop, the littlest bit that, man, when you start multiplying it out like that, it actually does matter. So the gamble for me is, will I make more or as much? Or even if I don't make as much as Preddy, right? What I would have made on Preddy, I think, will I be close enough that the gamble's worth it? For me, I think so. I think gambling on every single Genesis drop is worth it and might make me every bit as much as Preddy would have. Maybe more, maybe less, but it keeps me around there. I think it's really possible. At the same time, I'm getting the points every day to keep playing Genesis and, again, grow my slice of that. So I'm rolling the dice with that, man. I think that's the way to go here. I think those airdrops are not nothing. If you look at 30 cents, 25 cents, whatever, it feels like nothing, but start remembering where we're at in this cycle. Like, we're pretty down. We're pretty down right now, this market. Like it feels nothing like it did when things were exciting, and that is coming here. Now, there's like more nuance to this too, man, because like, look, you're going to get all these airdrops, and if you sell one, I think they're still going to penalize you, and they're not going to give you more airdrops. So you need to make sure that I wouldn't be staking these things. I would claim them all and be ready for the day where you're going to sell one, you sell all of them. Just sell everything. I would game plan around that too. You're going to sell everything all at once. But when you do it, I have a feeling you're going to make some good money, and most of it's going to feel free-ish, right? When you turned a 50-cent airdrop into $50, it's going to feel pretty good. And when you did that 10 times over, and again, some of those probably going quite a bit higher. But prototype, we really going to have to figure out how to get into prototype more. Alpha is going to be premium here. I'm actually curious if the, backroom stuff is going to be hotter than I would like it to. Like, I don't want to say that I don't want it to be, but I don't love the InfoFi stuff, right? But that alpha is going to matter. The cabal moves, they really do move these markets. And yeah, man, alpha is going to matter. Anyway, we need to go find out where that alpha is. You'll get it here. Or we need to start getting it ourselves. We need to start doing some deep dives into these prototype agents. That is where we need to spend our most time. I'll say this. I think it's buy virtual, stake it, set it, and forget it. We'll know better tomorrow after we see my points, but I just think that is the easiest way to play this right now. Set it and forget it. Get in on the best virtual Genesis launch. Like for me, Sage, I don't think I'm going all in, but I think a ton of my points should go into that, and I'm not even going to think about selling it. I think that's just a hold it, set it, forget it, and play for what Vader says. We're hoping one of these hits 1,000x. Right? We're hoping 1,000x on something here. And it's what Virtuals has really tailored this site for. The whole mechanics are built around that. So like, what if I get $15 worth of Sage, which is about what I was getting on launches. Even with a bunch of points, I never got like $100 worth of a token. I never had enough points, and the same thing's going to happen here. I'm going to get like $5, $10, $15, right? Man, if I can turn $5 into when things really start cooking, we're talking hundreds. And if I can do that many times over, game the fuck on. I'm not ignoring this stuff, right? I'm going to be in virtuals. I'm not skipping it because I don't think it's enough tokens, and the mechanics have changed a little bit. No, I think there's some really easy money here. And picture what this is going to look like too. Hopium, right? Picture what it looks like when the euphoric part hits, and the guys who got the tons of points, like the Wills, and guys like, I'm assuming Nick's got a fuck ton of points. There's guys out there that are just rolling in points. Well, those guys who get that max allocation, some of them are going to be millionaires this cycle. They got to be already, probably, but some of them, we're going to see some newly minted millionaires. But dude, you're going to see the timeline flooded with dudes who put in, $100 into a launch and turned it into 100,000. Like, that's probably going to happen a lot. But I love it that it's rewarding even for the little guys too. I don't consider myself a little guy, but definitely not. I mean, what, $2,300 is pretty shrimpy. I just know that there's guys playing with less, and even they can win here. Even they can win. But again, to grow your slice, we need to get in prototype here. All right, let me see here. Oh, I did mean to pull this up. Again, I didn't have this formatted any great way. Just a lot of word vomit, but just got to show you those opportunities that are there. And we look at this often enough, but I got whale intel up. We're looking at current ROI. Current ROI, Axelrod's at 138x. Backroom's at 106x. Let me refresh here. Preddy's at 80x. Moxie at almost 60x. I mean, guys, there's such big wins in this. Again, I think it's kind of a shit market right now. That's probably wrong to call it shit, but we're certainly not toppy, and I don't think we're near the top. And we're looking at that, and man, I think we've got a whole lot of room to fly from here. So you start thinking these little dollar amounts. You get $1 worth of an allocation and $5, but you start multiplying it by this, and thinking that some of these go quite a bit higher. Almost like if we look at the all-time high ROIs, which are like 300x, 200x, right? I think Virtuals is just such an easy platform that really is like tuned. Well, I know now away from the Virgin community, right? Less tuned to virgins, more tuned to builders, but it's mostly tuned for a bull market, right? This is where it's really going to shine. And part of that is the attention on X and all these little wins people are going to be tweeting about, and they're not going to be so little. And also how frequent. Now, here's where it gets super interesting too. We saw people tweeting like crazy all during season 2, right? But do you think many of those people actually realized those profits? Because I don't think they did. I probably even put out a screenshot or two saying, hey, I'm up, turned $15 into 400. I don't think I realized most of those. I just staked them. And so people are going to play this a little different on top of there being less tokens out there. So I'm just watching. I'm watching how people are going to actually play this time. Are they actually going to sell? Or are they just going to do the on paper? They've made all these gains. But also just like with the airdrop tokens and you got to sell them at once, you're going to have to do the same thing with the Genesis launches too, right? Like, man, unless you got these multiple wallets, if you sell everything, sell it all, or just hold forever and hope one of them goes to 1 billion. And I think that's actually really possible. Again, that is what I think the Virtuals platform is being tuned to. One of these agents, maybe a few of these agents go into hundreds of millions, and maybe one or maybe a few of them go into $1 billion plus. Now, and with the way I believe in AI, and I think a lot of you guys too, I think it's really possible, dude. I think it's really possible that we see some $1 billion tokens out of this. I have a hard time seeing that not happening. I really do. I have a hard time seeing it not happening. And that's the kind of opportunity Virtuals has given us access to. Getting into a pre-sale, if it's $1 even, guys, if it's $1 allocation you get of a token that goes to 1 billion, I'm sorry, but it's a pretty serious win. Here, let me do just for fun. Let me do some numbers there. What is that? Is that a yeah, what is that? A 5,000x. That's if this is all rough numbers, right? But if you get into a pre-sale at 200K and it goes to 1 billion, look, guys, again, staked for 2 years. I'll set this and forget it for a year or two. I don't mind. But if I get, say I'm lucky and I get $10 worth, and it's turning $10 into 50,000. Again, that's the most extreme scenario. You get in the pre-sale, you get $10 worth, and it goes to 1 billion one day. It's $10 into $50,000. It is. Dude, I would bet you it's going to happen, and Virtual is going to look like fucking geniuses if maybe when it happens. It's going to happen though. I really do think so. Cat's saying 2 big prototype launches coming in the next 7 days. And we have to do this. We have to look at them. We have to pay attention. I think we need to get really good at TA and look for these opportunities. I still think Dr. Emma Sage is a sweet opportunity on the prototype side. Just look at Virgin for the potential on agents that don't have any limits with who can sell and what and whatever, right? Like, if volume comes here, like, these prototype things are really going to be special. Alizar, you staked all your gains, never do. Dude, I'm with you, dude, saying he's not staking, right? Because I'm with him. Everything I have is staked. And even now I'm like, great, back room's up. Oh, it's going to take me 2 weeks to unstake. Like, what's the point? Yeah, I'm not staking anymore. My only staking is going to be virtuals. I'll just stake virtual. And then the tricky thing, though, is, okay, well, still, if I get in a Genesis launch and I sell it, I'm out for 10 days. Kind of sucks. Also, I get it. I kind of don't think they should change it unless they use Wallet DNA to tweak it. Wallet DNA is the best thing they could do to tweak that. And nice middle ground. People can sell and not lose out on future whatever points, airdrops. But otherwise, again, they're telling you very clearly, we don't want you to sell. We want you to hold for a year or 6 months. We want you to hold for a long ass time. And let's see if we can get one of these tokens to 1 billion market cap or FDV. And it's really possible. I really think it's possible. Dude, I don't have 3 accounts. I still don't. I have 1 account, and I do have a second that is 1 point that I never trade on, right? Well, that point's probably gone now. No, I never set up my multiple wallets. Didn't do it. Probably still won't. I should, but I probably still won't. But the launch is coming up here. And Cat's, Cat's saying what I'm saying. And I think we're always really on the same page here. Even just a little allocation is better than none. We get no allocation of the overfunded prototype launch. Again, I just think Genesis is Virtual's way of sharing passively with the Virtuals community. We just need to stop overthinking. And if there's, again, something to take away, it's probably mostly that. Don't worry about virtual Genesis stuff. Like, play it, just don't overthink it. If it does well and projects do well, you'll do well. And if it doesn't, you won't. Nobody else really will. But it's mostly a set it and forget it thing. But yeah, the big launches coming up on prototype. We got Mute coming up. We have Flagship coming up. By the way, there is another one, and I've completely forgot what it is, but I'm pretty darn sure I had something that I saved somewhere there. I think there's a 3rd prototype launch coming. But yeah, Mute is one we need to watch. Flagship for sure. And God, I got to see if I can think of what this other one. I'm like really sure there was another, and it wasn't loud, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, Luna, it's really true. So what I'm thinking, Luna's just saying it would be smart to have multiple accounts. Definitely. What I think I'm going to end up doing, though, is when we see how the points plays out tomorrow for my virtual staking, I think I'm just going to have that second account that I'm just going to go buy, again, like $1,000 worth of virtual, stake it. That's how we'll grow out points there, right? Just start fresh that way. Now, here's another thing too, and something I like. Again, random, I'm just kind of all over the place, but do we think like points being worth less? I'm assuming they are. Don't know that they are, but just kind of assuming. Does that get people yapping less? And I think to some degree, yeah, I think so. But that said, it also incentivizes you to go right to the projects who have their own yapping campaigns. And I think this is just pushing people towards great projects, right? These projects are now starting to do this. Projects are starting to give you their own rewards from their own slice. And by the way, they're just going to have more, right? They're just going to have more to work with, whether they do prototype or Genesis. They got a fuck ton of tokens now. And so if you want to go yap, man, I think it's less yapping about general stuff. It's more find your whack AIs, find your Arbus campaigns like the Swarm right now. Go find those, tweet about them. And that's where the yapping rewards plus extra fun tokens comes from. It is going to get interesting here. Not a huge shift, but again, you can see how things are shifting a little bit. There's definitely tweak, change to the mechanics here a bit. Let's see. Most important though, guys, still, and we talked about it yesterday. Everybody's talking about this. This only works if you get those great builders, right? If you get those great builders here, man, it's going to get fun, right? It's going to get fun. What I'm hoping is, again, I talk about the perfect storm last cycle that ended really with Iris. Man, I hope we get that again, and I'm pretty sure we will. But if we can incentivize those builders via much better tokenomics and better holders and less supply out there, right? What if we recreate that at just a bigger pace, a bigger clip, at a bigger scale? And again, I think that's really possible. I don't want to be sidelined. I don't want to disengage from virtuals because maybe the wins aren't as big right now. I think that's coming. We need to just keep looking down the road here. Pretty sure it's coming. Let me see. I have so many other notes. God, I really should have done this a little better. I really should have formatted it. Whatever. Hope the points are coming through decently enough. Prototype, yes, full throttle focusing on that. Again, it's the Virgin method. By the way, Virgin's still, like I said, great buy right now, I think. I think Virgin's one of the best plays. But then again, all these prototype agents, they'll be liquid, they'll be fun, they'll be degen, they'll be hypey, they'll be cabally, but there's gonna be a lot of money to be made on these prototype launches. Really important. Really, really important. If you want to catch up, if you need to grow your share, it's through prototype. It really is. All right. So final points. Wow, I wrote this stupidly, huh? But whatever. Hey, if you're a shrimp, you're going to stay a shrimp unless you get more active and mostly in prototype. But if you want to change that fate, yeah, get over there. Multiple wallets, very important. Stake virtuals, to be determined, but I think very important. Maybe the most important thing you can do. I really think it's going to play out that way. Staking virtuals, the easiest play, the best play, the most passive play, and you're going to win there, man. I can't picture you staking any amount and not coming out ahead. And by that, I mean, again, if I stake $250 worth of virtual this morning for 2 years, it's gone. I consider it gone. Even if I believe in virtual, I'll just, for peace of mind, consider it gone. I have a feeling I'm going to make a lot more than 250 in that over the course of just the rest of this cycle. And look, I'll just look at past evidence to tell me it'll happen. Look, dude, Virgin airdrop was what? I think my Virgin allocation was like $1,600. Now, some of that was Vader too, right? It was from staking Vader, but everything I put in was basically covered with that. All these other airdrops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever you put in a virtual now, do I have to say not financial advice? I hope that's clear, but whatever you put in, I think you're going to make it back. I do. We'll get more active in prototypes. We need to get active in alpha chats. And that final point was kind of what I ended with a minute ago. Yap with the best projects. So Whack AI, again, they've got their campaign. Who else has got yapping campaigns? Right? Like those project yapping campaigns is interesting. Wallet size. What size of wallet's considered? I don't know what wallet size is considered a shrimp. I would consider me, but I'm comparing to some like big guy. Like, I don't think 2,000 is a shrimp. I don't know. $50? I don't know. Yeah. I think it's kind of subjective, but Skinner, that's why I love virtuals. Skinner's saying virtuals is the intersection between AI and cryptos, and that's why I think the potential's so big. So big. because I'm positive normies are going to come flooding into crypto. We all know that. We wouldn't be here otherwise. But I think those same normies, a big chunk of them are going to see AI and they get AI and they understand that it's going to be as big as we know it is. And they're going to see an opportunity to invest in AI companies. That's how they'll look at it, right? Investing in an AI company. I think virtual stands to, be one of the big winners this cycle. And I mean, this guy's like, could be. This is the extreme hopium scenario, but as big as a, hyper liquid, could be. I don't know. Maybe. It could be. Maybe as big as a poly market? Could be. Honestly, I think it's one of the few that has potential, like crazy product market fit. Like Pump Fun. Could be one of those. When all is said and done, could be. Arbus Chirp campaigns, get in on those. Yes. Wax got their announcement out. Good shit. Let's peek. All right, let's see what these boys are saying. All right, looks like, what is it? Is it their mini app announcement? I think that was it. Okay, sorry, let me just find the start of this. Okay, so here's an hour ago. In 1 hour, something big is going to be announced. Good shit. Oh, they tagged us too. Good guys. I love the whack guys, dude. They're awesome. They're so awesome. I was telling Cats, dude. They're one of my biggest conviction bets, but I can't say bet because I don't have any whack, I don't think, other than, what was airdropped. I don't have a bag. I wish I did, but I told him, I'm like, for me, they're on par with like Billy Betts. I think whack is going to be pretty huge. Anyway, under 24 hours to go, full of Jesse Pollock mode for our mini app. Start with homepage tutorial, then swipe hot or not, earn hots, lock a 0.1x streak for activity. Okay, so they launched an app. And again, they're tagging everybody coming to base, which is, everybody. Hey, by the way, if you go on Coinbase, you can search every base token now. You can search Swarm. It shows up in Coinbase. Pretty cool. You can go in the base, like, their decentralized, their wallet. You can buy it there. It's pretty cool. All right, let's peek at this real quick. The risk to reward on virtual right now is good. Downside is 50%, upside 10x plus. I agree, dude. I think it could be massive still. It's a could be thing, but I'll bet on it because along the way, I think I make back everything I put in. And I'll say again, historically, just going by the last run, I made more than I staked. I only staked 72 virtual. I only staked that. The amount I got in airdrops, and again, yes, that counts Vader. And I think I staked $400 worth of Vader. At the time, that was 10,000. It was 400 when I did it. I made back way more than I put in. And all that was passive. Okay, so we can't see this yet, but dude, the whack guys are crazy. So what is this? So they have some kind of swiping Tindery kind of app thing where you swipe on a hot or not project. I think that's what it is. You're either, kind of voting on the project or its token. Maybe it's all the same thing. These guys are maniacs. Let me look at their let's look at their token real quick. I think these boys are going to cook. Let's see. Yeah, they're up to what, 6, almost 7 mil? Yeah, these guys are going to absolutely cook. Yeah, I regret not getting a bag, but look, guys, I tell you a lot, I think. I hope I do. I don't have much to play with. I don't. So, like, my portfolio is what I have to work with, and I just move shit around. These boys are going to cook. These boys are going to cook. I love it. Yeah, only other plays I can think. I hate to say this with Sentry in the audience. The only token I had that's not staked that I was like, maybe I sell and get more virtual is Cyber Sentry. As much as I wouldn't want to, but gotten that very low and up on it. I'm like, well, maybe it's, by the way, $70. It's not going to hurt your chart. But I'm like, maybe I just roll that into virtual and stake it, set it and forget it. And by the way, I think Sentry, just like Preddy, is going to 10, 20, 30. Like, I think Sentry is going to be very hot. So I don't want to. Dude, up 150%. Good Lord. Yeah, I don't want to. Probably won't. All right, let's see. Moit, Pock Gaming momentum already. Oh, it's live right now. All right, well, we'll wrap here. Let's go look Who here's going on Pock? Who's committing? Do thumbs up in on the spaces. Just curious. Also in chat over here. Yeah, those whack guys are maniacs. They're so good. God damn it, they're so good. Okay. Find my way around this page. Actually, it should be right here. Dude, this is so brutal. Pock. All right. So first target, 21K virtual. They're at 12,000 right now. 89 participants. It just opened 4 minutes ago, by the way. But yeah, this will probably get to 21 quickly. Yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys going in. Yep. I think it's smart. Now, here's the real question. You go in, do you sell? Are you selling? Because then you're just putting time out. You're only locked for 3 weeks which is not terrible, right? So you play that too. I think it's a fine play, honestly. That lock period being short's cool. Sage is only 31 days, by the way, so that's actually not bad either. But I'm just, dude, I'm gonna go on Sage and I'm gonna set it and forget it. I'm gonna look at Sage in a year. I'm looking for those things that have that billion market cap or FTV potential. Sage could be that. Always that tiny chance they could be that. So I'm gonna keep betting on those. And by the way, I wonder if we see tomorrow, maybe the day after, but we'll see our Pock airdrop, right? We'll see our Pock airdrop for stake and virtual. Might just be worth doing that, like I've been saying. I think it is. And same with Sage. Remember, every Genesis launch that completes, 2% goes to virtual stakers. I think that's incredible. Passive, baby. So there we go, guys. Again, sorry that wasn't super concise. I'll work on that. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's part of the charm, is this is just sometimes really retarded. But again, I hope the point came across. Passive playing virtual, active playing virtual. Take your pick. Do both. The passive part you don't have to put much work into. That's the Genesis stuff. It's just it's where you're at now. You want to grow it, go to prototype, go trade secondary, grow your bags, go yap with projects, grow it that way. It's the only way you're going to get bigger allocations. But otherwise, we're all playing the same stuff. We're going to keep getting the same percentages. But I really think what we need to do is stop thinking about why can't we sell and when can we sell and whatever, and think a year out. Just think a year out. I think virtuals will just keep doing what they're doing is you sell it every few months, they'll reset, whatever. I think they'll keep doing that. So there we go. There we go. Appreciate you guys. Atlas, what's with Wire Token? Oh, yeah. Talks about buying a bank. Actually, I would love to get them on, but talks about buying a bank. It's, that's the story there. So cooking. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a deeper dive into that. That'd be cool. Gravity, appreciate you, dude. Alazar, sell Pock, hold Sage. Sounds like the most reasonable play, right? Pock sell in 3 weeks. Hope you're up from a 200. Well, what, 125K? Well, we'll see. We'll see what the FTV is. We can't just assume it's, this flat place. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the FTV looks like at whatever tier they reach, and we can start making our predictions. But hopefully, you sell Pock in 3 weeks for a 3, 4, 5, 6x, and hopefully you hold Sage for a year and you're up 1,000x. Perfect, right? Perfect. So there we go. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. Newsletter coming out later today. What else? Guests coming up later this week. Killer ones next week. All that good shit. Anyway, smash a like. Subscribe over on CryptoSlam. Follow the Swarm. And by the way, Swarm Copilot's now free. I hope you guys caught that. We need to get better on comms, but Copilot's free. Premium features gated behind now just 25,000 Swarm. But to get those core features, dude, it's free. Install Copilot, use it. It does help with trading, especially if you're a Vibe trader. But I think really like these Gigabrains could do something special with it. And then eventually let's put pressure on virtuals to use DNA so people can trade all they want and sell all they want as long as they're adding. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you later. Goodbye.